Gunmen abduct traditional ruler, 6 others in Sokoto State. President Tinubu signs 70,000 minimum wage bill into law. NCC orders telcos to reactivate blocked lines as protest looms. On the foreign scene, Uganda court charges 36 opposition supporters with terrorism-related offenses. Good evening and welcome to the News Hour tonight on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. Now the news in detail. Gunmen have abducted the Sarkin Gobir of Gatawa district, Isa Bawa, and his biological son in Sabon, Birni local government area of the state. The Sokoto State Police Command spokesperson, Ahmed Rufai, who confirmed the incident, added that operatives of the command are investigating the incident. An elder son of the victim, Isa Gobir, also confirmed that the district head was ambushed at the Kwanar Maharba area while traveling from Sokoto to his hometown in the Sabon Birni local government area of the state. Gobir further said the bandits on sighting the emir's car shot at the tires of the vehicle, causing the driver to lose control and forcing the car to a sudden stop. According to him, the bandits abducted the district head and his driver, who happened to be his son. Isa therefore appealed to the government to ensure the release of the victims from the abductors' den. Sources in Sabon Birni said the incident has sparked outrage and concern among residents who are calling on authorities to take action. They said an additional 5 persons had been kidnapped in the Sabon Birni area on the day the district head was attacked. And now joining us via phone call to give an update is Daily Trust reporter in the state, Abubakar Imam. Hello, Abubakar. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight.
Thank you, Aisha.
Now, I'd like for you to tell us what is the mood in the Monarch's Palace and in the town in general?
Well, from what I heard from the sources that I have there, the place is calm now. People are just going about their normal businesses, and the security operators are still patrolling the area to ensure there is order. There is order and peace in the town. And like you said earlier, the district head was abducted along with his son and younger brother at Kwanar Maharba, which is one of the dangerous spots on Sokoto Sabon Road. It was said that his family lost contact with him an hour after he has taken off from Sokoto, and they became worried and started making contact. So his car was said that was found later that Saturday at that very spot where he was abducted. So I contacted the representative, the member representative Sabon Birni South at the Sokoto State House of Assembly, who confirmed this to me. And according to him, many people they have over 100 people still in captivity.
That's quite a huge number. I'd like to hear from you. Have the abductors made contact? If they have they made a ransom demand yet?
Yes, they did. They contacted one of the traditional title holders in the area in Sabon Birni, and they demanded for 1 billion naira, from what I heard. 1 billion naira before they released the district head and the 2 others that were with them. So from what I heard, the family of the district head are still negotiating with them to see if they can reduce the money, because they don't have that much, honestly. They don't have that much. So they are now contacting them to know, or to try to convince them to reduce the money to what they can afford.
As much as negotiations are still ongoing, that is indeed quite a large sum of money that has been asked for. I'd like to also hear from you. What are the security agencies saying about the situation? Would you say there is a resolution in sight?
I think some minutes ago, I contacted the police, the spokesman of the Sokoto State Police Command, Rufai Ahmad, who said they are still investigating. So I think they are finding it difficult, to get some information from even the family of the district heads, so which is making their work very difficult. So until they have gotten all the information they want from them, maybe they will find it very difficult to secure his release.
Thank you so much. That's quite a grim situation right there. And we have been speaking to Abubakar Awal from Sokoto State. Thank you so much for speaking with us on the News Hour tonight. And now, still on the news, troops of 151 Battalion of the Nigerian Army conducting counter-terrorism, counter-insurgency operations under the auspices of Operation Hadin Kai in northeast Nigeria have eliminated 8 terrorists in Bulla Marwa, just ahead of Siraja village in Birni State. The troops, in a dawn raid operation conducted in conjunction with hybrid and civilian joint task force, launched into terrorist enclave in the early hours of Sunday, 28 July 2024, gallantly neutralizing the terrorists in a fierce gun battle. According to an army statement, the troops also recovered 1 automatic grenade launcher, an MK rifle, and a bag containing a pair of desert camouflage and other terrorist uniforms from the terrorists. Authorities say the troops are still carrying out further exploitation of the general area to smoke out any other terrorists hiding in the general area. The army, in its brief communique, assured Nigerians that the soldiers will continue to be undaunted in combating terrorism and insurgency in synergy with sister services and other security agencies in defense of the nation and in protection of the citizens. President Bola Tinubu has signed the new national minimum wage into law. Tinubu performed the ceremony during a meeting of the Federal Executive Council he presided over at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, on Monday. The bill was passed expeditiously by both arms of the National Assembly last week. Senate President Godswill Akpabio led other members of the National Assembly leadership to join the Federal Executive Committee for the ceremony.
The signing of the new minimum wage comes amidst a cost of living crisis in Nigeria, with inflation figures hitting 34% in June 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. A National Assembly delegation led by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and some members of the House of Representatives is around to witness this groundbreaking event. All these stakeholders are proud to be part of this milestone and insist this is just one of the goals the President hopes to meet to improve the lives of Nigerians.
We will encourage that this is a national minimum wage to be implemented across the society, the federal, the state, the local governments, and the private sector. So let us all follow the example of Mr. President of the National Assembly and do what is right by the workers of Nigeria.
We are not only doubling the minimum wage, we have added something on top. Initially it was 30,000, now it is 70,000. Like I said, this is minimum. This is not maximum. Any employer that has a capacity can pay as much as you want, but no Nigerian worker will offer services and be paid anything less than 70,000 from today. That is the implication of this act.
So I think this movement from 30 to 70 and reducing the negotiation years is clear demonstration of a commitment to redirect, refocus, and reposition Nigeria for greatness.
It presents an opportunity for this crop of Nigerians to remind organizers of the End Bad Governance protest of the steps the President has taken to turn the economy around.
This is just one more action from the President to show that he cares about the Nigerian people. In addition to signing the Northeast Development Commission Act, the Northwest Development Commission Act, the Southeast Development Commission Act, this has never happened in Nigeria.
So my appeal to the Nigerian youth is do not allow any group to mislead you politically. People who probably did not have their fortunes in 2023 election are thinking they can come through the back door. That will amount to anarchy. Any destruction of any property will cost Nigeria money, and we don't have the money. Instead, let's put the money in developing you and developing your environment.
The new minimum wage of 70,000 naira will be reviewed every 3 years. That way, government will stay in touch with the economic reality citizens experience on a daily basis. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
The Federal Executive Council has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to sell crude oil to Dangote Refinery and other local refineries in naira and not in United States dollars. The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, disclosed this after a FAC meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja on Monday. He said the measure would reduce the strain on the country's foreign spendings and stabilize the pump price of petrol, diesel, and other products in Nigeria.
Get engaged with local refineries, and we are starting that with Dangote Refinery, that the sales of crude oil to Dangote Refinery will be denominated in naira, and also the sales of refined products from Dangote Refinery to marketer and distributors also should be conducted in naira. And what does this mean to our economy? One, the pressure on foreign exchange rates today will be reduced. Today, you may be aware that we spend roughly 30 to 40% of our foreign exchange today on importation of PMS that we consume. And in monetary terms, monthly, we spend roughly $660 million in this exercise. And if you annualize that, that one will give us $7.92 billion pressure that we have. With this approval today through FEC, led by Mr. President, this has reduced by minimum of 90%, because what you have today will be this transaction is now done in our local currency, not only with Dangote Refinery, for all local refineries, for all our local consumption.
Some residents of Lagos State have expressed frustration over the decision by some telecoms companies to block their telephone lines, irrespective of the consequences. The telcos had, in compliance with the NCC's directive, barred users who are yet to link their SIM cards to their NINs over the weekend, sparking outrage among affected users. Aishat Abdullahi reports from Lagos State.
The barring of the lines is reported to have been due to the failure of subscribers linking their national identification numbers (NIN) with their mobile phone numbers, as mandated by the Nigerian Communications Commission. However, some Lagos residents whose line were blocked explained how they have severally linked their telephone lines with their NIN, but after a while received a text message requesting for a linkage.
Kind of intentional, to actually frustrate the citizens of this country, because if you look, since morning people have been here, a whole lot of crowd amounting to 500 or more. So you can't keep telling people to link their NIN to their numbers over and over again, and the same issues keeps on reoccurring. So I think that's the problem.
A user who was able to have a line unblocked after being barred narrated how she spent hours on the queue.
I've done it before, and immediately I came here around 10 to 5 this morning. I picked number. I was in number 49. So they said they were sent to elderly woman, pregnant woman, and the woman that nursing mother, that they will first of all attend to them. So after them, they now started attend to us. But they are doing well, they are performing well.
I spoke to one of the staff there. He said the network was very bad. I said, so what is are we going to just stay like this? He said we should keep on coming tomorrow and trying, they are going to fix it. So it's very frustrating as I'm here now. In fact, I don't know, my business I'm supposed to go and do now, everything now is grounded. I don't know what to do. I'm very frustrated. And they're not even encouraging us from telling us way out to solve this problem. So I don't know what to do about this.
The situation has sparked significant unrest, with crowds besieging offices of telecom service providers in various parts of the country, as the exercise has affected businesses and livelihoods.
MTN and Glo users across the country have expressed frustration over the barring of their telephone lines, which has made them unable to make or receive calls. Aisha Abdullah reporting from Lagos.
The Lagos State Police Command has condemned the vandalism of telecom provider MTN office in the Festac area of the state on Monday. A group of aggrieved MTN subscribers, frustrated by the recent blocking of phone numbers due to non-compliance with the NIN SIM linkage requirement, took to the streets and damaged the office fence. In response to a viral video showing the vandalism, the public relations officer of the command, Benjamin Hundein, said this should not be the way to go. The blockage affected numerous subscribers, leading to widespread discontent and protests at MTN offices across the nation. Also, crowds have flooded MTN Nigeria offices nationwide as many lines have been barred from making or receiving calls due to unlinked NINs. Telecommunication companies began mass disconnection of telephone lines not linked with national identification numbers late Saturday. However, many of those whose lines were disconnected say they've been linked to NIN, some multiple times.
We came here because the SIM was being blocked. That was why people. When was it blocked? Mine was blocked yesterday, but we have people that they've gotten their own blocks since Friday. So a lot of people are, which we've done it. Like me, I've done it twice. We have a lot of people that have done just, but still yet they got it.
We click on, we give up the code that we saw on it, star 996*1. Why don't you use what they are using is still not working. Okay.
Still in the southwest region of Nigeria, residents of Osun State on Monday blocked the Okefia-Dele-Yesa dual carriageway in Osogbo, the state capital, in protest against officials of one of the telecommunications companies for allegedly not attending to them promptly after their mobile lines were barred. The residents, who had traveled from various towns across the state to Osogbo, were frustrated that despite arriving as early as 1 a.m., many were not attended to promptly. In their anger, the residents blocked the road, causing traffic disruptions and forcing drivers to find alternate routes. Order restored when Department of State's security operatives arrived and directed the protesters to clear the barricade. It was gathered that those who had registered their names on Saturday were being attended to, while new arrivals were compiling their names. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Communications Commission on Monday directed telecommunication companies to reactivate all lines blocked that are yet to be linked to the national identification numbers. A spokesman for the regulatory body, Ruben Moka, said the order to reactivate the lines was in view of the challenges the blockages have caused. Millions of phone users had their lines blocked over the weekend, with speculations rife that the disconnection of SIM cards was one of the measures of the government to stifle a planned #EndBadGovernance protest against hunger and economic hardship, widely publicized by displeased youth and scheduled for August. Human rights lawyer Ebun Olu Adegboruwa on Sunday said the government tried to frustrate the protest largely planned online using internet restriction. He also asked the regulator to intervene. But in a statement on Monday, the NCC confirmed that indeed lines not linked with NIN were blocked by MTN, Airtel, Globacom and others over the weekend. Telecommunications operators say recent barring of some subscribers' lines has nothing to do with the planned national protest billed to start from Thursday. Millions of subscribers' lines have been barred in recent days in a move that many suspected to be part of the government's attempt to stifle the planned protest. But the telcos say the development is not connected to the protest. It asked customers to reach their service providers for the resolution of the issue. As the planned nationwide protests draw closer, Nigerians have been divided on the necessity or not of the protests. While the federal government recently appealed to the protesters to shelve their planned action, citing possible violence, Gombe residents are also divided on the issue, with some telling the federal government to return fuel subsidy as the only condition for them not to take part in the protests. Hassan Kohli has more.
The protest, which is gaining popularity on social media platforms, has been fueled by the recent hardship and inflation. Many Nigerians are of the opinion that a peaceful demonstration is the only option to voice their concern directly to the government. We are indeed supporting a protest, but a peaceful one. As law-abiding citizens, we will never break any law in the course of the protest. Additionally, we are doing it because hardship and unfavorable government policies forced us to make such a decision, with the hope that the government will reverse some policies, specifically fuel subsidy removal. Right now, almost everything has doubled or tripled in price, including medical services in hospitals. We are urging the government to quickly help us reverse fuel subsidy removal policy. The main reason behind the protest is food inflation. Our leaders have failed to stabilize our economy and make positive impact in the agriculture and health sectors. If President Tinubu reverses the fuel subsidy removal, no one will be interested in any so-called protest. Unfortunately, the ulamas too failed to openly oppose the presidency, which is worrisome and an indication that we have few options to channel our grievances to the president, and we hope he will come up with policies to ease our hardships. With the recent warning by the Department of Security Services that some bad elements were hired to disrupt the peaceful conduct of the protest, some Gombe residents think that the organizers need to be cautious. Actually, I am against the planned protest out of fear that it may turn violent. For now, I think we have to give the president a little more time, as he requested. Should he fail to come up with more impactful policies, I myself will call my fellow youths to embark on a peaceful protest to let the president know that we are tired of the hardship and also demand that he should reverse the fuel subsidy removal. As a patriotic citizen, it is not a wise idea to stage any protest now, because it will be a great setback for us all. For instance, if it turns to violent, there will be a destruction of properties, and I believe the government will without doubt enforce a curfew for days. If that happens, what will happen to those who must work daily before they feed themselves? If they are at home, who will feed them for the duration of the protest or a curfew? I think it is better to look for an alternative other than the protest. However, I may not be correct, but it is my take on the matter. Most Nigerians believe that returning fuel subsidy will ease the prevailing hardship in the country. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
This is the News Hour coming to you live from Trust Television studios. Still to come. Youth begin Say No protest march in Lagos State. We'll bring you more news on return. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. Let's have another look at some of our top stories. Gunmen abduct traditional ruler, 6 others in Sokoto State. President Tinubu signed 70,000 naira minimum wage bill into law. Moving on to more stories. Pro-government protesters on Monday held a counter rally in Lagos State against the planned August 1 nationwide protest. The planned nationwide protest, tagged End Bad Governance in Nigeria, is scheduled to hold from August 1 to 10, 2024. The organizers in flyers circulating on social media are demanding judicial reform, a declaration of a state of emergency on inflation, reopening of the national borders, among others. But the pro-government protesters carrying banners with the inscription "Say No to Protest" expressed their support for President Bola Tinubu's led federal government. The protesters, who came from different parts of the state and converged in the Lagos Island area of the state, called on the youth to shun violent protest. With less than 3 days to the planned hunger protest, christened #EndBadGovernance protest, the social media where organizers have been recruiting people, especially youth, to join the demonstrations is still agog, with Nigerians either choosing to support or condemn the planned protest. In this report, Trust TV's Neil Sampson speaks with some FCT residents on where they stand vis-a-vis a warning by the FCT Commissioner of Police, who, in an exclusive chat with Trust Television, warned against a violent protest. Let's take a look at the report.
On the streets of Abuja, some residents say the planned nationwide hunger protests are needed at this time as part of efforts to draw the attention of the federal government to the prevailing hunger in the land, due to its economic policies, adding that they are willing to take part in the protests.
Bros, me and you dey this country. You no go lie to me, I no go lie to you. Nobody will know they face these challenges now. Thank God say they eat everybody. This time around, we are ready for anything that is coming. We want to protest.
And the reaction is that if the country can do the protest in a peaceful way, it is good. And towards the there's no food in the country, and problem killing and kidnapping of our people in Nigeria is not good.
You know, everyone is facing the challenges, the hardship. So I don't have much to say. What I have to say is I want Tinubu, Mr. President, to restore our country.
While many are preparing for the protests, with others saying there's no need for the demonstrations, many are raising questions as to the necessity of the protest, how organized are the planners, whether or not government is doing enough to forestall the protest, and if the protest has a political undertone, among others.
Can we agree that there is corruption despite the hunger? Can we agree that the government has not shown enough empathy despite the hunger and all of the other issues happening? Yes, there is. And so can we also agree that some of these protests can be politically motivated? Of course, they can be politically motivated, but which outweighs which? I think that the fact that there is severe hunger in the land, the fact that people can no longer, be sure of the next meal is enough reason for people to want to protest, bad governance, especially when you think that the government is not doing enough to address some of these issues that, some of the organizers have raised.
Meanwhile, the FCT Commissioner of Police, Bennett Igwe, has warned against violent protests and also assured FCT residents of a safe environment with or without the protests.
We welcome protesters, but what we are saying is that let them not be violent. Because once they turn violent, we have to react. Because he who wants to go to equity must go with a clean hand. So, if you want to do protests, do it within the ambit of the law. So, and we don't have anything against anybody. We don't have. But you have to do, if you are doing protests, you do it within the ambit of the law. Once you go beyond the law, we are not going to keep quiet.
The proposed hunger protest is scheduled to hold from the 1st to the 10th of August 2024. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has commenced investigations into the bank accounts of some individuals and organizations allegedly sponsoring the planned nationwide protest. It was gathered that the anti-graft agency was directed to liaise with the Department of State Services to get full details of the individuals and organizations that had earlier been identified as sponsors of the protest. A highly placed official of the EFCC on Monday said in confidence that the detailed information of the sponsors has been gotten, adding that the agency had commenced its probe into their bank accounts immediately. This, the source said, would help the commission to know the extent of their level of involvement in case violence erupts in any part of the country, adding that the anti-graft agency would ensure that terrorism funding was prevented. When asked how they would be sanctioned if found guilty after investigation, the EFCC officials said laws would be applied appropriately and they would be charged accordingly. Dele Oyewale, the spokesman of the EFCC, when contacted, said he had no information regarding the development. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has directed the police top brass to protect intending participants of the planned #EndBadGovernance protest slated for August 1 to 10, 2024. This was contained in a letter by the IGP to the request of human rights lawyer Ebun Olu Adegboruwa. Adegboruwa, a senior advocate of Nigeria, had on July 26, 2024, written the IGP to provide police coverage for protesters. The senior lawyer had written the IGP on behalf of the Take It Back movement, one of the groups planning the #EndBadGovernance protest in August. The IGP, in his response letter dated July 29, 2024, directed senior police officers to attend to the request of the senior lawyer. The IGP also requested to have a meeting with Adegboruwa in Abuja on Tuesday, July 30, 2024, to deliberate further on his request. As the proposed nationwide protest approaches, security personnel in Imo State are strategizing to ensure effective security arrangements for the protection of lives and property. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise reports.
In Imo State, the Joint Security Task Force, comprising the police, army, navy, air force and other sister agencies, are on high alert to prevent anarchy and violence.
If you've been following national developments, it's going to be a nationwide protest between 1st to 10th of August. And that is why we are generally here to give Imolites the sense of assurance that their security is guaranteed within the period for them to carry out their lawful socio-economic activities.
Also speaking, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Aboki Danjuma, said they are fully prepared to deal with criminals who will try to take advantage of the protest to perpetrate criminality. Aboki assured that the deployment of the anti-kidnapping unit and other tactical units working in strong synergy with the military and other security outfits will contain the protest without any issues.
Patrol the whole town and give the MOLI that they are protected. They are promise us they are going to be united while going out. Nothing will happen. Whoever that molests the public will be severely dealt with. I am assured the MOLIs that they are protected. By His grace, this protest, we have given the assurance that each and every individual should come out and go about with their normal businesses.
Imo residents emphasized that while the protest is a constitutional right, it should not be allowed to degenerate into a breach of public peace.
It is the constitutional right of citizens to protest, but it is not their constitutional right to be violent during their protests. So the government is aware of that, and that is why they have organized this confidence building patrols.
As a Nigerian, constitutionally, I have a right to protest because things are getting worse day by day. This government, since they came into power, they have driven the cost of living to an obscene height that has not been seen in the history of Nigeria.
They don't listen to issues unless you took to protest, then they will listen. I would say it's a good one, protesting is a good one, but I will appeal to Nigerians, especially the Nigerian youths, on how they're going to embark on the protest. They should endeavor to make it a peaceful protest.
Despite the federal government's efforts to stop the protest, citing concerns of potential hijacking, Nigerians are determined to register their grievances amid economic hardship. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Ahead of the planned End Bad Governance protests across the country, residents of Delta State are expressing mixed feelings, with some calling for the planned protest to be aborted, while others are rooting for it to go on as planned. The protest, scheduled to begin on August 1, is expected to last 10 days. Some of them say the time is not right for such protests, considering the fragile state of the security in the country.
As far as I'm concerned, the protest is not necessary. Because what are you protesting for? We say we are protesting because of hunger. How do you quantify hunger? Let us ask questions. You could imagine all the federal government has been giving to the state governments, and look at now, there is local government autonomy.
Nigerians should just come out peacefully and express themselves. Imagine in a country where minimum wage cannot take you home, 70,000 naira can't even buy a bag of rice. Prior to when it was 18,000 naira, you get a bag of rice for 6,000 naira, and you can still get other things to eat. So it's just it is a national saga.
The people now are angry and they want their freedom of speech. They want to be heard. They want their voice to be heard by the government. But the government are finding a way of trying to dampen the whole situation, which is unfair.
First and foremost, I think the protest is due. I expected this protest to come right from the first day that Tinubu took over leadership, when he announced that subsidy is gone. Nigerians deserve some roundtable discussion. You cannot just wake up and begin to implement policies. Of course, you know quite well that Nigeria is not a banana republic.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council has kicked against the proposed bill by the Senate to create the so-called Local Government Independent Electoral Commission, saying it is ill-conceived. IPAC further called for the amendment of the Constitution and the Electoral Act to empower the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct all local government polls. IPAC Chairman Yusuf Dantale disclosed this on Monday in Abuja at the third regular quarterly consultative meeting between INEC and political parties. The report.
Dantale called for the scrapping of the state's Independent Electoral Commission, saying to restore confidence in the electoral system, INEC should be empowered to conduct all local government elections. The IPAC chairman claimed that the need to cast for the Edo State governorship election and that there is no substitute for free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive and peaceful poll. He noted that the success of the election, along with that of Ondo, will go a long way in restoring trust that is essential for enduring representative governance in the democratic process.
To restore confidence in the electoral system, INEC should be empowered to conduct all local government elections. Politics is local. Citizens must be encouraged to actively participate in the grassroots politics and contribute in nation building, in building a better society. In this vein, IPAC called for the amendment of the Constitution and the Electoral Act to empower INEC to conduct all local government polls. Council rejects the proposed bill by the Senate to create the so-called Local Government Independent Electoral Commission.
Earlier in his remarks, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakub, outlined the activities for Edo and Ondo governorship elections.
As the Edo State governorship election approaches, I wish to remind leaders of political parties of your obligation to submit the list of your agents by uploading the required information, including photographs, to the dedicated portal. This requirement is listed as item 9 on the timetable and schedule of activities for the election, released by the Commission nearly a year ago on 26 September 2023.
The Commission chairman reassured the chairmen of political parties that each party fielding candidate in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State will receive the soft copy of the register on the 20th August 2024, while that of Ondo State will take place on 15th of October 2024.
The Plateau State Police Command says it has apprehended 4 suspects for allegedly stealing 30 solar panels within various communities of Jos South local government area of the state. According to the spokesperson of the command, DSP Alabo Alfred, the suspects were arrested following a series of reports of theft of solar panel in some communities in the state. Adomusa completes the report.
Parading the suspect at the Anglo-Jos police station, the PPRO said the suspects have confessed to their crime, adding that officers will continue to crack down on all forms of criminalities in the state. According to the State Police Command, the police arrested the suspects following diligent investigation by their men.
The command is very happy to inform the good citizens of Plateau State of what these young men are doing and how they are removing street lights, solar street lights, which also will increase the rate of crime, because if those places are dark, the rate of crime within that particular vicinity will also increase. So they are not just only stealing street lights, they are also encouraging other forms of criminality within our locality.
The suspect during interrogation confessed to their crime. I am part of the group that has been involved in stealing solar panels. I took to this because my motorcycle was stolen and I am not happy. I just decided that it is better for me to go with them than to stay idle because I have nothing else to do. I am among those who remove the solar panels. Whenever we identify them on the streets, we came back in the night and removed them. we have not been involved in this for a long time. I have a business relationship with them because I always thought they got them from a company they work with. Whenever a buyer buys, they give me my share. I'm just a middleman. The police spokesperson, however, said the State Commissioner of Police had asked the public to come to the Anglo-Jos Divisional Headquarters to claim their panels with proof of ownership, urging members of the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to the police command. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
As part of efforts to avert the planned national protest slated for August 1, 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, through the Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, has engaged a cross-section of Adamawa citizens to explore ways of ending the economic crisis that necessitated the protest. The youth at the meeting decried the unbearable state of the masses as the economy continues to bite harder, with prices of food items and transportation reporting a daily increase. Gibson Soadigo reports from Yola.
These are Nigerians from different ethnic nationalities, socio-political groups, and religious backgrounds. From different parts of Adamawa, they converge at the state capital to meet with Nigeria's Minister of Education, representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. To set the ball rolling, the youth are clear in their statements about what to do to change the ugly economic narrative of the nation. They told President Tinubu that his economic policies need to be revisited, particularly the removal of fuel subsidy.
The government should understand the pleas of the people. The government should understand that people are hungry, people are in pains. When people are in pains, whatever you are doing, reduce it and provide for people. Reduce their suffering. Once you are able to meet up and reduce the suffering of people, now if you are earning salary, be sincere. Can either your salary or your income now pay NEPA bill? NEPA bill have been increased. Food have been increased almost times 3.
Tuition fees are going higher every day. Petroleum price. They remove subsidy because they say some people are packaging the money somewhere. But after removing the subsidy for about 1 year today, the youth doesn't know where the money that they have saved is going.
Addressing the gathering, the Minister of Education, Mamman Tahir, said the president is aware of the economic hardship bedeviling the nation, adding that he is working to make things better. He also urged the citizens to shun the planned protest, noting that although it is a fundamental right of all citizens, however, unpatriotic elements can hijack it to cause massive unrest.
That look, calm down. These are temporary hardships. Sooner than later, we'll get out of it through various policies of the government, and that will begin to mature very soon. Some are immediate. Some of the interventions are immediate, like what I said in terms of intervention with the fertilizer, foodstuff, scholarships. Student loans. These are all immediate interventions by the president.
In Adamawa, the ruling PDP and the opposition parties have all agreed that their members will not be part of the planned national protest due to the political fragile nation of the state. Gibson Soadigo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Let's now join Yusuf Akogu for the business news.
The federal government has revealed plans to boost local content in manufacturing to 80% with the implementation of the National Strategy for Competitiveness in Raw Material and Product Development in Nigeria. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, disclosed this during the National Consultative Committee on Global Competitiveness in Raw Materials and Product Development Conference held in Abuja. In a statement on the official X account of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Nnaji said the strategy will generate employment and enhance local content in manufacturing. According to him, the boost in local content will ensure the local acceptance of Nigerian raw materials, products, and services, thereby improving the country's global competitiveness. Against the backdrop of the persistent depreciation of naira, insurance companies are now transferring more of their oil and gas business abroad through offshore reinsurance policies. The local insurance firms are believed to be hedging against losses or depreciation of their premium income. Industry experts say the foreign exchange crisis is also eroding the capital base of local insurance while aiding huge capital flights. Analysis of activities in the insurance sector reveal that premium income seeded offshore in the first quarter of 2024 increased by 94.5% year-on-year to 95.11 billion naira from 48.9 billion naira recorded in Q1 2023. In 2022, oil and gas premium income was 125.7 billion naira, while 80.6 billion naira was seeded with only 45.1 billion naira retained, indicating 35.9% retention. According to the National Insurance Commission (NICOM), the oil and gas portfolio remained a challenging angle in the market owing to its nature of enormous capital and professional requirements. NGS opened the week in red as investors hold back over uncertainty over the planned hunger protests across Nigeria. Leading the losing equities there is Cavalry Helicopter, down 10% to close at 1 naira and 35 kobo per share. Of course, while Peak Insurance also there, 9.30% to close at 78 kobo per share. Of course, ABC Transport also ended on the negative side of the market, down 9.09% to close at 70 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the market downward by 0.07%. In terms of volume of trade, 379.132 million volume of shares were traded, value at 8.71 billion naira in a days of 10,096 days exchanges among investors this Monday. The top trading equities in terms of volume: UBA Nigeria PLC leader table there, 69.055 million shares traded. FBN Nigeria holding 24.941 million shares. Of course, Access Corporation 23.890 million shares is also traded as well. Some equities ended on a gaining side of the market. Leading that table is AfriProd. AfriProd gained 10% to close at 10 naira and 45 kobo per share. Curtis also up there, 9.90% to close at 5 naira and 66 kobo per share. Of course, Internal Oil also up as well, 9.88% to close at 17 naira and 80 kobo per share there. Now the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Finally, in business, crude oil prices stable on Monday as fears of a widening conflict in the Middle East after a rocket strike in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights balanced demand concerns to put a floor under last week's price losses. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $80 per barrel. For the oil basket, price steadies at $81 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogun.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. A Ugandan court on Monday charged 36 opposition supporters with terrorism-related offenses after they were deported from neighboring Kenya, where they had traveled to attend a training course. The 30 opposition supporters, who are members of the Forum for Democratic Change, one of Uganda's biggest opposition parties, denied the charges. Their lawyers, Arias Lukwago, told reporters outside the magistrate's court in Kampala that the charges were ridiculous. It's time now to join Emmanuel Fashimi for the sports news.
The Minister of Sports Development, Don Waneno, has showered praises on Nigerian women's basketball team, the D Tigress, for defeating Australia 75-62 in a thrilling encounter on Monday morning. The win marks Team Nigeria's first win at this year's Olympics, taking place in Paris, France. D Tigress displayed remarkable character in their first match of the Olympic Games, taking down a basketball superhouse and world number 3 nation to record historic victory. The Opals of Australia and 5-time Olympic medalist couldn't stop the brave Nigerian ladies. The first quarter ended 18-17, the second quarter ended 23-11, while the third quarter and fourth quarters ended 10-19 and 24-15 respectively. Senator Eno, while reacting to the win, said he was proud and excited as the victory, he noted, is not just a win but a monumental achievement. Eno said the D Tigress have shown the world what determination and teamwork can achieve, adding that the resilience and spirit displayed by the team are a beacon of hope and inspiration for all athletes competing in Paris. The training process. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashini.
And with that, we've come to the end of the news hour tonight on Trust Television. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.